So apparently Snow White has finally scraped past the $200 million mark globally, and I'm using the word finally the same way I'd use it when my phone finally updates itself after ignoring it for 6 months, with a mix of pity and disbelief. And since we're on the subject of slow motion disasters, let's check in on Rachel Zegler, the woman who's been trying to prove she's a household name like she's auditioning for a Marvel origin story. Now to be fair, the $200 million figure is being disputed like a conspiracy theory on Reddit. Some sources say it's closer to 195, others have it at 221 million. But fine, let's be nice for a second and give Disney the benefit of the doubt. Let's pretend they actually crossed the 200 million line, and let's even sprinkle some extra fairy dust to account for the tax breaks. But the problem is, the movie's budget reportedly ballooned to around $300 million thanks to reshoots and a marketing campaign that had all the billboards at Times Square. So even if you squint and tilt your head a bit, that's still a massive financial belly flop. And speaking of belly flops, Zegler's latest move is her role in the stage production of Evita at the London Palladium. It's a big venue, a big role, and you'd think this would be her time to shine, especially since the marketing is practically screaming Golden Globe winner, West Side Story, Hunger Games, you know, the whole Hollywood playbook of trying to manifest a star into existence through sheer repetition. But here's the kicker, I checked the ticket availability for the June performances, and it's about as open as the DMs of a washed up reality star. The entire theatre is green lit, and not in the fun we're all sold out kind of way, more like nobody's buying these tickets, please help situation. Every single seat is still available. That's not just a flop, that's an audible thud. To put this in perspective, I checked a few other West End productions to see if this was just a London theatre problem. It's not. I looked at John Lithgow's show, which isn't exactly Marvel level hype, and even that has significantly more limited availability. The difference is like comparing a Coachella headliner to a local cover band. One actually sells tickets. This is a brutal reality check for Hollywood's latest star-making experiment. They've been trying to manifest Zegler into an A-lister the same way my high school math teacher tried to manifest me into a calculus prodigy. With a lot of hope, a bit of denial, and a complete disregard for the actual numbers. But it's not just a lack of ticket sales that's concerning, it's what this says about her broader appeal. Even if you strip away the Hollywood marketing and Golden Globe buzzwords, the audience still isn't buying what they're selling. It's like they're trying to rebrand Spam as artisan canned ham. You can dress it up all you want, but people still remember what it really is. And it isn't exactly a one-off issue for Zegler. She's already had to watch Snow White circle the drain in slow motion, burning through hundreds of millions with a little to show for it.
To everyone who hates when I win, people still line up to see her. Despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
You'd think that'll be a wake-up call, but Hollywood seems determined to double down on this gamble. It's like watching someone try to push a car uphill while the brakes are still on. You have to wonder how long they'll keep insisting it's worth the effort. Part of the problem here is that Hollywood has completely lost the plot when it comes to building stars. In the past, actors would cut their teeth on smaller projects, build a genuine connection with audiences over time, they'd work their way up, proving their bankability before being handed the keys to a franchise. Now, studios just throw relatively unproven talent into $300 million gambles and act surprised when it doesn't pan out. Look at the actors like Timothée Chalamet or Florence Pugh. They didn't just pop up as the leads in $300 million blockbusters, they built their fan bases through smaller, critically acclaimed projects. They weren't just handed the spotlight, they earned it. Meanwhile, Zegler's been thrust into one massive production after another without that kind of slow, steady build that actually creates staying power in the industry. It's like trying to sprint a marathon. You might start strong, but you're probably going to hit the wall before you reach the finish line. And it's not like Zegler has done herself any favors with her public comments. She's made some eyebrow-raising statements about the original Snow White, calling it outdated and even describing the prince as a stalker, which, shocker, didn't go over well with fans of the 1937 classic.
I know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story, with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no Prince?
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. But it's one of those things.
So true,
it's
yeah.
an inner journey that she goes on to find her true self.
This is the same group that got Little Mermaid's box office torpedoed over a Twitter campaign, so maybe a little more caution was in order. At this point, the question isn't whether Zegler can act, she clearly can, but whether she's being set up to fail by an industry that refuses to let her grow organically. They're pushing her into leading roles without the audience connection or commercial track record to back it up, and if the empty seats at the London Palladium are any indication, the public is picking up on this disconnect. So where does this leave her? Probably facing a very awkward series of meetings with her agents and publicists as they try to figure out how to salvage a career that's veering dangerously close to punchline territory. If Hollywood is smart, and that's a big if, they'll hit pause on the massive productions and let her rebuild through smaller, more character-driven projects, give her a chance to connect with audiences on a more authentic level before throwing another $300 million Hail Mary her way. But knowing the industry, they'll probably just double down again, hoping the next big blockbuster will finally be her breakout moment. It's the Hollywood version of throwing good money after bad, and I'm pretty sure we all know how that story ends. I mean, here's the uncomfortable math no one in the boardroom wants to solve. Evita's producers needed roughly 60 to 70% capacity across its run just to break even after rent, crew wages, union fees, and Palladium overhead. Right now, sales charts look closer to 5%. That means the show is staring down the barrel of an early closure clause, which could be a PR mushroom cloud for both Zegler and the backers who pitched this as a surefire star vehicle. Even if last-minute tourists swoop in, you can't outrun a first weekend headline that reads, "Entire balcony still empty." Financially, Disney's Snow White Misadventure already put Zegler on the expensive risk spreadsheet every studio keeps hidden under the desk. Add a visibly empty West End launch and she graduates to the dreaded insurance surcharge tier. That's when completion bond companies jack up rates because they smell a potential money pit. Producers hate that, which means fewer scripts land on her desk, which means momentum slows, which you get the loop. From a branding angle, the optics are equally brutal. The narrative isn't talented young performer finds her footing, it's an industry anointed actor keeps headlining losses. That seeps into algorithmic casting models. Yes, those exist, where social sentiment and financial return merge into a neat red flag. Translation, her reps will be fighting uphill for every green light meeting for the next 2 years. So that's pretty much it. Rachel Zegler's newest live performance is flopping, she's not selling tickets, and it really seems like her career may be over. I mean, it basically was already over after Snow White made hundreds of $millions of loss due to her public comments and interviews, which, I've already covered millions of times, so you don't need to hear that again. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.